I'm Craig Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. Work with me and you'll get professional help on your situation. And if you're in no contact, focused on personal growth, my workbook series, The Knowledge, will help you make changes like you've never made before. Available now at AskCraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
I'm Coach Margaret.
And today we're going to be talking about the dark side of narcissism. There is a lot of information out there about narcissists. And I think it's a term that is overgiven, overgeneralized. A lot of people say it when they're upset at somebody and maybe somebody's acting selfish towards them. But obviously, if you're going to be diagnosed a narcissist, there are a lot of criteria that you have to meet first.
Right.
But Margaret's got some information on some of the real challenging, what's the word I'm looking for here?
Dark side.
The dark side, of dealing with a narcissist.
Now, we've talked about narcissists before. I don't know if you've put it out.
Mm-hmm.
Have you?
Sure.
Yeah, okay. I've been pretty sympathetic describing the criteria for diagnosing them and what their prognosis is and all that. But this time I'm going to tell you about why people are in general so angry at narcissists right now.
Okay.
And the bottom line is, I think it has finally occurred to us that many of the domestic violence perpetrators in this world are narcissists. Okay? And so at this point, narcissists are not in good odor, shall we say. All right? So this is an article called Understanding Narcissists and the Antagonistic Attachment Style.
The antagonistic attachment style. Margaret, what is that? We're overwhelming people. They're going to be like, there's another attachment style?
Well, this woman would like to have this one added to Bowlby's list. But when I really looked at the literature, I could see that she's the only person saying that. I do understand what she's saying, though. The antagonistic attachment style is that this guy always, not that there aren't women narcissists, but this narcissist always has to be disagreeing with you about something. There's always something you're not doing or something isn't right that's probably your fault. So it would serve the avoidant part of you because it would keep you ever from getting too close.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And it, of course, makes your partner crazy, that nothing is ever good.
Mm-hmm.
There are periods when you're nice to get them off guard, and then you go back to being antagonistic. And part of it is to keep them from getting close.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also not pleasant. You don't want to live with somebody who wants to argue with you all the time and tell you you're wrong. Because the narcissist is always right.
Yep.
So I don't think we have to think about it just yet as another attachment style. Securely attached people have mutually supportive relationships. Narcissists have an antagonistic attachment style based on predation, meaning being a predator, competition, and parasitism, meaning that they want to take your resources away from you. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
The narcissist antagonism in relationships traumatizes individuals, families, and larger social groups. Okay. Humans are a highly social, collaborative species with intricately complex interdependency. We raise children together, we work together, we learn together, we eat together, we play together, and the list goes on. And the glue that binds us is our common capacity and desire for attachment. The drive to connect, to share, to protect, and care. Antagonistic attachment. Securely attached humans approach relationships cooperatively. They work together to achieve shared goals, seek and give empathic validation, share accurate and truthful information, and express affection and vulnerability to build trust and intimacy in their relationships. There may be conflict, there may be disagreement, but mutual support is the foundation of the relationship, and respect and love are not at stake. By contrast, for the narcissistic personality, attachment with others is antagonistic, a concept in biology that refers to a relationship in which one organism benefits at the expense of the other. Okay?
Okay.
Common forms of antagonism in nature are predation, being a predator, competition, and being a parasite. Let's look at these three dynamics in narcissistic relationships. Predation. In a predatory human relationship, often there is a condition of ongoing domination and subjugation.
Mm-hmm.
Because narcissists view all relationships as a struggle for dominance, they emotionally and perhaps also physically and sexually oppress, intimidate, and violate others to experience and maintain feelings of power and control, which is what we see in domestic violence. Okay? Narcissistic displays of dominance may be flagrant forms of aggression, such as hitting, pushing, berating, name-calling, playing favorites, critiquing, monologuing, or they may be more passive-aggressive maneuvers like being dismissive, giving people the silent treatment, making joking barbs at them, or veiled threats. Whatever the strategy and however well it is rationalized or disguised, the purpose is to bully the other person into submission. Okay? All right, so that's the first flavor of predation. The second is competition. Competition is another type of relational antagonism, characteristic of narcissism. Narcissists approach relationships oppositionally, viewing other people, including and often especially their family members, as competitors for resources. In other words, there's only so much to go around, and anybody in my family might get my cookies.
Yep.
All right?
Mm-hmm.
Those resources may be tangible things, but often they are intangible interpersonal resources such as attention, acknowledgement, inclusion, respect, validation, admiration, and affection. Okay? Seeing life as a zero-sum game in which they can only win if someone else loses. Okay? Narcissists continually work to undermine and one-up those around them, while asserting their superiority and greater entitlement. In other words, I'm better, and entitlement really means the world owes me. I am entitled to special favors and being treated as a special person at all times. Okay? Typical competitive narcissistic behaviors within families and other social groups include comparing, bragging, over-talking, blaming, cheating, exaggerating, diminishing others' accomplishments, excluding them, applying double standards, distorting and withholding information, and taking undue credit. And somewhere in there is the implication of gaslighting, which is one of the narcissist's absolutely favorite tricks, because it leaves you thinking that you're crazy. All right? They're going to tell you, well, I paid that bill. I don't know where you're getting the idea that I didn't. Are you going to believe me or the gas company? All right? All right. The third one is parasitism. Parasitism is another common relational dynamic in the narcissistic personality's antagonistic style of attachment.
Okay.
A parasite feeds off a host organism to the host's detriment, causing depletion, disease, and sometimes death. Between humans, parasitism shows up as exploitation in relationships, usually with the parasitic narcissist manipulating or coercing the other person into providing ongoing resources such as money, housing, privilege, social standing, sex, caretaking, or other forms of service. Okay? And that's pretty much it in a nutshell. And the woman goes on to point out that, in a family, if you have an abusive male parent in a family, it will be difficult for the mother and it will be equally difficult for the children. because the narcissist won't treat them well either, and will see them as competitors for all of the goodies and the cookies in the house. Okay, there's always the concept of being angry that there isn't enough to go around, and being entitled enough to think whatever there is should go to you. All right.
Margaret, what are your thoughts on somebody trying to have a relationship with somebody who's exhibiting these kinds of behaviors?
Well, I think you have to be extremely careful. Not all narcissists are abusive, but many of them are. And, you know, sometimes it's easy to ignore early red flags. And a guy may put you down in a way that, you know, he disguises pretty well as joking. But by the time it happens the fifth time, you begin to realize that, no, he's really not joking.
Yeah.
So if it smacks of abuse in any way, you have to look carefully at it. One of the things they say to look at also is, how does he treat people he has any power over? For example, how does he treat the people who work for him? How does he treat a waitress in a restaurant? And if it's in a disrespectful and I'm better than you kind of way, be suspicious.
Yeah.
Most narcissists really only have one subject that they can converse about. It may start out as any number of different things, but within just a minute or two, it'll come back to their wonderfulness, their needs, their experiences. Okay? And I mean, yes, if you're dating somebody early, you want to know all about them. And when I talked about narcissism before, I used the example this: I've talked about myself enough. Now what do you think about me? So let's remember that the guy didn't change the subject at all.
Yeah.
But it's an angry kind of narcissism. And remember, developmentally, we're all born narcissists because we don't know any different. What saves us from being narcissists for the rest of our lives is falling in love with mother. All right? The narcissist does not fall in love with mother or whoever the caretaker is. Something goes wrong right there. And so because they didn't fall in love with mom, their attitudes towards other people are not loving. It's sort of, what are you going to do for me? What kind of care are you going to take of me? And I really have never learned to care about anybody else. Okay? It is extremely difficult for a narcissist to change. Like everything else, it can, however, be done. Not easily. Most domestic violence perpetrators are treated in group, which is a wonderful idea because group gives them feedback that's extremely helpful. But unfortunately, I think that as we have treated them in groups, we are so angry at them for the way they behave that we've never fully learned how best to treat them. It's sort of like sexual abusers. People who are abusive, you know, don't get a whole lot of understanding and research around being understood. But narcissists are still human. And we have to keep trying to learn how better to handle them. But that's where all the anger at narcissists is coming from. And you hear people calling each other narcissists frequently. They, so-and-so's a narcissist. I think she might be a narcissist. I think he might be a narcissist. And then we have little adjectives that we learn. He's an overt narcissist. No, he's a covert narcissist, which means he's better at hiding it. Mm-hmm. Okay? But a narcissist nevertheless. The other thing is narcissists are not dumb. And they learn what gets them what they want. Most of them have learned to be extremely charming part of the time. It throws people off guard, and it makes people like you right away. And then it's easier for them to get whatever it is they want from you. Mm-hmm. Okay? So it's easy to be fooled by an intelligent, charming narcissist. But look out for those things I was letting you know. He really has, or she, has only one subject. Everything will have to be his or her own way, etc., etc. And if it doesn't feel right, and if your spine feels cold, and your stomach is queasy, pay attention to those signs and those symptoms.
Yeah.
Okay? And, again, narcissists are not dumb. they will figure out what you want from them, like being affectionate and reasonable, and they will do it for a short period of time to throw you off guard, and then go right back to the old behavior of exploiting you one way or another.
Yeah.
So, all right, it's an
Proceed with caution.
Yeah, proceed with caution, and I'm sorry it happens, but I mean, not everything that happens is mother's fault. I mean, somebody could be sick in the family, a parent could be dying, she could be with an abusive guy, who knows? But again, it's an early failure. It's one of the earliest failures that we see commonly.
Probably the earliest, right?
Yeah. It's earlier than borderline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay? So be careful. The term is being thrown around a lot now. Many years ago, I ran an agency that had a domestic violence component, and I learned a good deal about it. And as soon as I started to hear the terms that were being tossed around about narcissistic, I thought, oh, we have figured out that many of the domestic violence guys are narcissists. And I think it's a step forward in trying to deal with all that. But I think we have to be careful not to totally condemn them. Yeah.
Okay. Some heavy stuff.
Yes, it is heavy stuff.
Hopefully you found this helpful. And of course, if you want to get our help personally, you could go to my website, askcraig.net. Sign up for the coaching option that works best for you. I do email coaching and I do Skype. Margaret, of course, is available for Skype coaching.
Yes, and if you feel that I can be helpful, please sign up.
Just click on Margaret on the top of the website to sign up with her. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
I'm Coach Margaret.
And we will talk with you soon. To get my help personally, go to askcraig.net and click on Schedule Coaching and choose the option that works best for you. I do email coaching or Skype. To schedule a coaching with Margaret, click on Margaret on the top of the page and order a Skype with her. For the Knowledge Creative Healing course, click on the link at the top of the page and click Get Started Now.